Hey guys, Meteorologist Chris Tomer here. Let's take a look at things this afternoon in this update. I want to go to Big Cottonwood Canyon first in Utah, up in the Wasatch, and some very light snow coming down. You can see some of the flakes up there at Solitude. We might get a dusting of accumulation out of this in Little and Big Cottonwood Canyons and the high Uintas. I want to go into Colorado, and the big news is that both Arapahoe Basin, which you see right here, and also Keystone will be opening this Saturday. Of course, limited terrain, but you can see the view at the bottom there. Some sunny skies today, waiting on the next storm system in Colorado. Really doesn't arrive until the 3rd. So we've got a few days to wait here in Colorado, but a beautiful day up there. Look at the east wall up there. Things looking really good. And on the backside out there at Montezuma Bowl. Here's Keystone. I showed you the cam, this exact cam this morning, and it's still a beautiful day up there. Looking to the south, getting some of that southern aspect sunshine up there at Keystone. So both opening this weekend. Here's radar. So this is you got a couple of things going on. So what you see right here in blue, crossing, brushing the Wasatch and rolling towards the Tetons and Big Sky, that's all a weak, part of a weak, fast, almost clipper-like storm system that will be in and out before we know it. Now, behind it, what you see up in the Pacific Northwest, that's part of our next storm, and that's going to be more significant as it drops all the way down into the Intermountain West. Let me take you into Utah, and you can kind of see how it's very light. Not a lot of flow with this. I mean, it's all just kind of drifting across the Wasatch right now. And your lay of the land on the water vapor looks like this. So your oranges and reds are your drier airloft. So you can almost see it, almost like a clipper, just kind of going fast across the northern tier here with that. Now, the main storm system up here will break off and it's going to move down and kind of brush the Sierra, but eventually it's going to turn. Now, a couple of days ago, it looked like it may go way down here and the southern tier, maybe even into Mexico. That's not going to happen. It's going to turn before it does that, and it's going to roll right through the Intermountain West. So a little better track for the Intermountain. There's a cold front that'll come in immediately behind it, and that will run down through the Intermountain, especially the northern tier. It doesn't look like a major front, but it will bring significantly colder air. And then that front actually gets cut off and retrogrades back to the west a little bit over the Four Corners, and it may turn into a storm system. So all of that are part of my bullet points this afternoon. You can see we've got the storm rolling through the northern tier now, and then the next storm of consequence is 11-2 through 11-4, followed by a cold front, which could turn into a cutoff low and be significant for New Mexico and Colorado, 11-7 and 11-8. Here's the timeline, the latest timeline for best odds of snow in the Wasatch, Tetons, Colorado, Tahoe. I won't go through all the dates, but refer to that as you need be. So as you need to. All right, here is the jet stream forecast. By late tonight, a lot of jet energy blowing across the northern tier with that little bit of snow. By tomorrow, you can already start to see the trough, the next dip in the jet rolling down, digging south towards the Sierra. There it goes. So there's your next storm system, 11-2, moving through parts of Nevada, Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, and into Colorado on the 3rd. And you can see it. We're really in the base of the trough here, in the heart of it on the 3rd in Colorado and New Mexico. And then by the 4th, it's possible right here between the 3rd and the 4th, the low actually strengthens and southeast Colorado, northern New Mexico. We could see some decent snowfall out of that, maybe even a little bit of snow in Denver. So I'll show you that coming up here in more detail. So that's 11-4. Here's 11-5. And then look at the backside of that. That cold front, there's some energy that kind of slips out the back. And there's an area of low pressure that almost gets cut off. It develops into a low and kind of gets cut off from the main flow. Watch it spin right there. 11-7, 11-8. It moves its way through New Mexico into Colorado. And that could be a player. All right, here is the forecast radar and satellites. So here's by 5:30. You've got some light snow brushing the Wasatch, heading towards the Tetons, Big Sky, up through parts of northwest Montana, and then it's out of here. Here comes the main low, dropping to the south through the Sierra, and then it just moves into the interior. And now we're looking at snow. This is 11/3. Snow across the Tetons, Big Sky down to the Wasatch, High Uintas, Bryan Head. Snow developing across the western slope of Colorado, and then it intensifies right here. So here's 11/3 at 4:30 p.m. Good snow across the mountains of Colorado, the foothills of Colorado. Initially, maybe some rain showers in Denver through the evening on Sunday. Then, look at this, chance of snow for Denver and I-25 by late Sunday and early Monday morning as the cold air comes pouring in. Some snow for some of the northern parts of New Mexico. Um, and then by the time we get into even, here's 4:15 p.m. on Monday, some leftover snow in Colorado and northern New Mexico. And look to the north, you can already see the next cold front diving out of Canada. It comes in on the backside with some additional snow for the northern tier and Colorado and New Mexico. And then look what happens. Dumps some energy and then spins up into a low over the four corners, and it just kind of sits. 11/7, 11/8, and then it starts to come north into Colorado. So it reemerges as a stronger area of low pressure. That could be a big player. All right, here are my latest forecast numbers. Rest of today through the day tomorrow, very light accumulations across parts of the maybe a dusting over the Wasatch, High Uintas, maybe 3 inches up over the Tetons, one up in Big Sky, maybe a foot up there around Timberline and Mount Bachelor. All right, second period is much more interesting with 2 to 3 storm systems here. Now, what jumps out to you right away, the purple shaded areas are a foot or more, and that's New Mexico, and that's parts of Colorado. So, again, this doesn't all come at one time, but it's the combination of 2 or 3 different storm systems, including that last one that kind of spins up into its own low. So that's why the numbers are so big. I mean, 1 to 2 feet in a lot of places across Colorado, and even a little bit of snow for Denver. Impressive totals. We'll keep an eye on it. Nothing set in stone yet. Still looking at 8 to 12 for the Wasatch, the Tetons, and Big Sky. And some decent numbers in northwest Montana, moderate accumulations through Idaho, heavy up there in the Pacific Northwest and BC, especially along the coastal range. Could see 1 to 2 feet there, and probably 4 to 8, maybe 4 to 10 through the interior parts of BC, and only light snow for the Sierra, unfortunately. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this afternoon mountain weather update. Always appreciate you tuning in here, and have a great Halloween.